What's going on, everyone? This is Nate the Great coming to you live from the Asapsportsnetwork. This is a show that actually we haven't done in a little while. Anything goes, batting titles champ CHAZ LYTLE. I'm here with Chaz. It's been a few weeks, so what's been going on your side of things.
It's been a minute, Nate. Everything's been great on this end. I put up a hitting facility on Highway 78 and 10 right here in Athens, Georgia. So when people are going to the football games, they can see it. If you can see, I have a little black eye underneath here. Got a little ricochet. But no, it was a lot of work. So we got the turf down, got the hack attack in. I got Premier video analysis, which is all these tools are used throughout professional baseball, and they're used so widely that I'm able to bring this and to help kids, where usually only professionals are using these tools. So we have the hack attack. I mean, we're doing team rentals. We have an iron mic in there. We have a jugs, one wheel with a radar gun on it. We also have, it's brand new baseballs, Kevlar seam baseballs to go in the hack attack. If there's right-handed curveballs, left-handed curveballs, left-handed sliders, right-handed sliders, good velocity, and then the traditional, of course, the iron mic it has. So, and it's a private place, and it's nice to be able to have really the video analysis that, a lot of people don't have. That way, one of mine is called the Premier. There's so many different ones that are used out there, but the one that I really like is the Premier. And, people YouTube, myself, you can see Felipe Lopez, who was an all-star silver slugger. Luke Scott, who played big name in the game. Curtis the Scanic, who's Game 7 World Series champion pitcher with the Boston Red Sox, talking about the Premier. So you just YouTube CHAZ LYTLE and Curtis the Scanic, and it would come up. But to be able to have these tools and to be able to have this, it's been a tiring adventure, I tell you that. And to be on 78 and right off 10, it's huge because, I got the curbside right there, so people are knowing there's not a lot of places to hit around here. So you think, Athens is a college town, but it's there's not a ton of places, and people are looking to come hit from Monroe, through Bogart, through different areas. So, it's the turf wasn't easy getting in, and I brought it in myself. So I'm sitting here going, how did I do it? At the end, I'm looking over going, how did I do it? But it was, thank God, my secretary from home, who's always been with me, it helped me out a lot, and we made it through. So that's where I'm at every night.
Yeah, like I said before the show started, I recently, some people know about this as well. I recently just made a move from Texas to Washington, west Washington. So right now we're living in a rental, but it's only going to be that way for about another week. When next week starts, that's when I can actually get that the glove, bat, and ball and the net back. So one other thing actually, the town that I moved in is a small town. I don't want to exactly give that away on air, but the town that I lived in, there was an athlete that recently won a gold medal right here in this area, small town. Well, it wasn't here in this area, but she is from this area. And I just found that out not too long ago from the Olympics that happened a few months back. Well,
sure.
Yeah, over a month back. She won it. She became the first ever women's. She became the first ever women's canoer to do it, and she's only a few months younger than I am. So, at 19 years old, that's congratulations to her for doing that.
I'm gonna look her up, and then that's where I'm gonna find out where you're at.
So, going back in there, that's all the new stuff for me. It's been kind of busy trying to pack things from my old house and moving in, taking a 4-day trip from Texas to Washington. So I don't, like I said, I don't have a baseball, but I do have some alternate things to do, alternate ways to use, and I have a tennis ball right with me. So like we've been doing in the past, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and get it set up. Okay. Yeah.
Get that arm loose. That boy. Nice, Nate. See the footwork there. Yeah, so what you're going to probably need to do, just not so you don't kill yourself running back and forth and it chops up too much time, is I know you have a wall behind you, and if you want me to show you how you can do some things so you're not having to just chuck a tennis ball almost like and then run after it like a dog to help you out, I can show you something that'll shorten your time up.
Okay.
To make what you're doing more productive if you'd like me to.
Okay.
Okay? Here you go. All right, let me know if you can see. This is all kind of off cuff. So I'm going to kind of do what you just did. Let me know if you can still see me. You see me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know you're a little winded, so we're going to make this easier. Like, for instance, I'm a left-hander, so I'm receiving this. So basically, this is the stuff that I did. I would take a pancake at night, okay? This is a pancake. It's a flat glove. I can see here. So I'm catching it. I'm left-handed. So I'm catching it with the pad, but you really don't see. It's so fast that I'm just working on my glove and my hands. I'm just right now, that little wall that you got behind you, you can work on your eye-hand foot coordination and ground balls. You can simply ground balls, and this is just with a pad. You can do it with your hand. You can do it however you want to do it, but it gets you in position. And these are the things that professional players do and young kids should be doing every day. And you have parents saying, don't do it, it hurts the house, don't do it, it beats up the wall. But to get quick hands, to help your eye-hand foot coordination, you got to get to a point where you can sit here and do this all day. And then, so when you're trying to double play, you get to the bag, boom, everything happens so quick. And that's why in the big leagues, when you see guys doing stuff on TV, everything happens so quick. Ball comes at you, boom. 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 I mean, it's so quick. You don't even see the glove. Sometimes good guys with quick hands, guys that are great, we call it, the ball just looks like it disappears in the glove. It's so quick. And some people think they're not even catching it with their pocket. They think they're catching it with the outside part. They're not. They're actually catching it, and that's why we call this a pad. Pad you can get from order them online. They're cheap. They're athletic. This one's Athletic Specialties. Put 3 fingers in it. But it's little stuff like this. And then another thing I'll show you. Let me go in here real fast. I'll bring it out. This is what I would always think. I did this last night. I put this on Facebook. A lot of guys don't like doing this. It's called visualization. Come on. Come on, guy. Foot down, short to the ball. Foot down, inside pitch. Foot down, stay inside the ball, outside pitch. Palm up, palm down. See the ball, foot down, pitch down the middle. I want to drive that ball to right center field or hit it out of the park. If I miss it, I hit it up the middle. If I really miss it, I'll hit a cut flare to left. Get here, come on, guy. Lefty, 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 I'm going to stay up the middle left field. Keep my front side in, keep my shoulder in, and I work that ball, and I try to penetrate left field. So these are things that are done on like a nightly basis by professionals. So for me, I like looking at myself in the mirror, making sure where my hands are at. I'm loading. I'm getting my foot down so I'm ready to go. I bring my barrel through. I'm palm up, palm down in contact. And I keep my head down, and I'm ready to go. A lot of people like to hit and do stuff with baseballs, but visualization is such a huge part in this game. I mean, it's just like anything. Anything you do, you have to visualize before you do it. When you're on deck and you have your on-deck preparation, and you see the hitter that's up, and you have a guy that's throwing the ball to him, you're thinking on deck, okay, runner on second base. Okay, let's just say runner on second base, nobody out. Okay, I'm coming up to bat. What am I trying to do here? Runner on second base, nobody out. I'm trying to pull the ball as a left-handed hitter so I can get that guy over to third base. Okay, so in our heads, we run these things through our head. Okay, infield in, runner on third base, infield's in, no outs. I'm trying to get some lift and some launch and some angle on the ball to lift that ball to get it in the outfield and try to stay middle of the field, Nate, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I want to stay middle of the field. So the biggest thing is visualization and understanding the things you can do and the things you can't do. But it all starts with in your mind. You know, and I hear a lot of people talk about how baseball is done. Everybody wants to do baseball with a baseball or with a bat. But it's just like a rap or anything you do. It all starts with walking down the road with your friend. You're just rapping with your friend or whatnot. It's just like baseball. You're just taking the ball, but there's more sophisticated ways to do it, so it doesn't take as much time. Like throwing a ball against a brick wall, catching it with your hands, not using a glove. That's how you develop soft hands. Making sure you get the ball out front and then transferring. Just like, you know, even if you're not doing the 5Fs, you can do your 5Fs. You know, move your feet, feel the ball, funnel it, fire it, follow. But you want to make sure, even with a tennis ball, you get up against a brick wall, boom, boom, boom. You can do it on your knees, like I'm on my knees now. You throw the ball up, boom, catch it out front. Boom, catch it out front. Then I used to do line drives, throw it higher up on the wall, catch it. Throw it higher on the wall, catch it. I'm catching it with one hand. I don't ever want to go with two hands because then it blocks everything. Everybody's always like, catch the ball with two hands. No, you want to get used to catching the ball with your glove. Catch the ball with one hand. And as you saw in the transfers as an infielder, infielders use these pads, and that's how they get good at the transfer. Boom, 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 boom. And that's how they get good eye-hand foot coordination with jumping rope. Jumping rope is the number one thing you can do in baseball. I know football players do it. I know it's huge in boxing. It's the only exercise you can do to help your eyes, your hands, and your feet. Eye, hands, feet. Eye-hand foot coordination is you can see the balls earlier. Is it breaking? What kind of break is that? What kind of slide piece does he have? What kind of changeup does he have? You can see things quicker, but guys don't want to do that. Guys nowadays, you see them, they're always lifting weights. They're always getting big. Look, when you're 40 years old, a lot of people say this about Barry Bonds. Oh, man, he's 40 years old. Look how big he is. But what they didn't understand, he's 40 years old. If you look at me, I'm 40 years old. I'm going to be bigger, muscular, and I'm going to be heavier than I was when I was 20. I mean, so not to take it for Barry Bonds here, but it's called that father strength. You start getting that father's time, you're going to be stronger. You start having that dad strength. So when your kid comes through and he wants to wrestle with you or something, you put your hand on him like, come here, boy. And then they're like, Dad, you got me. And you're like, yeah, you can't get out of this. We're 21 and you're wrestling, let's say, you don't have that grip strength. So, I mean, again, everybody wants to lift weights, but in baseball, it's all about your core. It's all about your eye-hand foot coordination. And Nate, I'm going to give away the number one secret, I think. This is me as being working for under Mike Burns with the Milwaukee Brewers, Houston Astros, Bobby Heck, being a high school coach, a college coach, being in the professional arena as a coach, playing the game as a college player, high school player, playing the game as a professional. The number one thing are your guys that are lean, that are fast. not only fast with their feet, but they're very fast with their hands. And I watched guys, and I was one guy who got I got faster running because I jumped rope. Jumping rope helps you pick your feet up and put your feet down. And if you can get to like how Floyd Mayweather does it and Mike Tyson, if you ever YouTube how they jump rope, it gets your eyes and your hands and your feet so good that when you're in stride, you're picking up your feet. That's what running fast is. How? Frequency. How fast can you pick up your feet? Doesn't matter what your stride length is. Everybody has different. Usain Bolt's different than Tyson Gay. They're all different. How can you pick up your feet, put them down, pick up your feet, put them down faster than the next guy? And jumping rope is the one tool that I've seen used in every sport that I've seen. And I was able to see Roy Jones Jr. in Pensacola when I played in Pensacola. I was able to kind of tour around a little bit and hang out with him and watch him for a few weeks and watch what he did. He would take the jump rope out, and he'd go out with the turkeys and the chickens, and he'd get in there, with his chickens and his boom, 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 how fast, boom, boom. I mean, it's about how fast, and that's hitting. You're hitting a baseball. You're hitting a baseball just like if you're hitting a baseball. So the eye-hand foot coordination is really second to none. Like a defensive back, it kind of gets you where a defensive back. If you're a Asante Samuel, guy from UCF. If you're one of these stud, Champ Bailey, type guys that went to University of Georgia. Those are the type guys that, constantly jump a rope, and that's a big thing. So you don't always have to be in the weight room. So, and it was a big misconception with Bonds. I mean, Bonds was a huge cyclist. People don't know that, but he's a huge cyclist. And Burns, Burnsy, he's a big marathon runner. I mean, these guys do so many different things, but it's all about eye-hand-foot coordination. If your eye-hand-foot coordination is good, and that's where Barry Bonds was, to me, the best. I don't care what anybody says. His eye-hand, he was the 30-30, 40-40. I mean, like Jose Canseco. I know there's some baggage that comes along with that, but when you can run that fast right out of college, this was out of college now, and he also did it at Arizona State. Bonds did. That eye-hand-foot coordination, people don't understand either. His dad was Bobby Bonds, and his godfather was Willie Mays. That's a pretty good pedigree right there. So,
and I've been told in the past that it's also good for other jobs, too, especially for what my dad, dad does and stuff like that. It's not just sports as well. It's very important in a lot of other jobs to have a good hand-eye coordination.
Central nervous system. It's very good for your central nervous system because it's the only exercise you can do for your central nervous system that works the three at one time. You can go out for a jog and stuff like that, but I mean, it's the only one that's sitting there where you can put twists in it, you can put turns in it, but the jump rope is something that, and I'm giving away a huge secret here, but I want people to be educated also, is that that's the number one thing for me. I could hit curveballs better. I could see them faster. It's almost like the Matrix, where I don't want to, but it's like the Matrix, the movie, when you can see things quicker. And it's kind of like what they came up with now, nootropics. Some people are big on that. Some people aren't. I am. I think nootropics are great. I take them. They help me throughout the day function better, think better. But you can think more clear. You can move faster. You can see things before things happen. And you just have that quick, like if somebody's going to throw a ball at you, boom. You can see things faster. And that's all jumping rope. And that's all working the central nervous system, which is your eyes, your hands, and your feet. They're all having to coordinate at one time. You can do ladder drills and stuff like that work it, okay? Ladder drills are good too. They have agility balls.
I didn't think about that, actually. Ladder drills.
Ladder drills are another thing. You have to pick your feet up. You have to shove. There's different drills you can do. But again, jumping rope, we're just sticking with the basics here. Jumping rope is really, if I had one tool, they said you had one tool to survive on, to work out with. You have one tool to work out with. Or I give you one tool, Chaz, that's it. I'd pick the jump rope. You have 2 years to get ready for baseball. You have 1 year conditioning. You have 1 year to hit. What tools do you need for getting? I'd pick the jump rope. Because the jump rope's not only going to get you shredded to the gills, I mean, you're going to be cut up. I mean, because you can do it 50, and then you can do 100, and you can do 200, and then and it's a workout. If anybody's ever done jump rope, you do 500 sets of 100, well, you'd be a bad dude if you continue to do the jump rope. And you get better at hitting naturally. Like, it's crazy. Like, you don't even have to hit as much. I don't want to downplay. You still got to hit.
Mm-hmm.
But everything starts getting sharper. Your brain starts getting sharper. Things come to you easier. You get better sleep. There's been studies on jump rope, on just how it works and how it kinetically patches the brain together.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think about all the studies as well. We do have about 9 more minutes left until the show's about to end. So I guess my second question is, well, I did a little bit while you were talking. I did a little bit of. It's easier to show you. Actually, I can't really. Can you see that at all?
It might be tough till next
week. The stairs. What I'm trying to get you to point at. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it a little bit. Yep.
I did a little bit of that. I did a little bit of that while you were talking about doing the whole, bouncing. I think that's probably what I should try to do until the show's over.
Nate, one thing you can do real fast, and I'll just tell you this, is to help you out too. Get used to the ball being in your hand, and just get used to taking the ball from your hand to your glove hand, and then transferring it to your throwing hand. It's just like football players. I've been told that, like, football players are told to walk around with a football if you're a running back or something like that in camp. You walk around with a football all day in your hands. Okay, and somebody will come up and try to strip it from you or something like that. I know, like even around campus, guys that are on campus, they have to carry a football with them all day. Just get used to carrying that tennis ball or baseball. And it doesn't have to be a baseball. And just get used to not looking down at your hands, but getting used to throwing it back and forth to your throwing hand. That way, the pitch and catch becomes so much more simple that when you're going out to play catch, you're not going to be playing fetch. You actually can jump, catch the ball, transfer, shuffle, throw to your partner.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Now throw it up in the air, like you're an outfielder. There you go, but you're going to have to catch it with your hand up now. So the whole idea is catching it like you would in the outfield, not with your glove down, but with your hand up, and then transferring it over. So here, I'll show you how it's done right here, real fast. So, okay. And just go like this. I'm a lefty, so I'm taking the ball. It's in my right hand.
Yeah.
On the screen, I know here to move this way. This is my right hand. I'm throwing it to my left hand. I'm throwing it to my left hand. I'm not looking. I'm throwing it to my left hand. Now I'm a lefty. Okay, so I'm gonna take my left hand, throw it in the air, catch it, and then I might throw one against the wall. Catch it, move my feet. And just get used to the ball being in your hand doing this right here. Just get used to the ball being in your hand, because you'll be amazed just the ball being in your hand, how many times you'll drop it throughout the day, but how much better you're going to be able to control the baseball. The whole thing is controlling the baseball. Tim Leeper used to be my manager. He was the first base coach of the Toronto Blue Jays. Very, very, very good manager. Heck of a first base coach. Heck of a base stealing guy. He went to NC State, coached at NC State. Tim Leeper was big on controlling the baseball during infield, outfield, taking care of the ball. So if you're fumbling around the ball doing the drills that we're doing right now, then we have to have a starting point. Does that make sense, Nate?
Yeah.
Our starting point is where we're at right now, just working with the transfer back and forth, boom, 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 just like you're doing right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you spread it out a little bit more, where you're actually like throwing it into your hands. Good. And you get used to turning your hand over, though. You're right-handed, so your left hand is going to catch the ball. And you're going to turn it this way, though, Nate.
Oh.
Here. Let me try it. You're going to catch it like this. Okay, not over your eyes, but you're going to catch it to the side.
Okay.
Not down, like this. You're going to catch it like that. There you go, big guy. There you go. There you go. It's going to take some work. It takes some practice. I mean, it doesn't come overnight, but I mean, you can go a long ways. There you go. There you go. Your dog's going to catch it too.
Yeah, my dogs are here.
He's going to catch it too. There you go. So in spring training, I'm just going to tell you this right now. Like in spring training, there was a drill that we were doing with a lot of guys. Guys would run in for the ball, and then underhand, you would throw it. And then guys come in, and they catch the ball low. And they work on catching the ball underhand when it's below their belt, underhand, and they work on catching the ball this way when it's above your belt. So the coach would get on his knee or stand up or whatever. And then you'd have the player standing in front of you. You would throw it over their head. And then whatever glove side, if they're right-handed, they'd go out with their left hand, catch it over their head. They'd do their spin, and they'd get ready to throw. Or they'd do a reverse pivot if it was on the other side and get ready to make the throw. But a lot of the stuff, in spring training is even done with a tennis ball, no glove. No glove at all. A lot of the early work is done like that. Because you're on and we can get into more technical stuff, but that's the two hardest balls to catch in the outfield, especially. Now I'm going to the outfield. Is the ball that's hit directly over your head. That's the first hardest ball. The second hardest ball is the one that's hit hard right at you, low. The two hardest balls to catch are the ones hit directly over your head, because you have to take your eyes off the ball, and then you have to know which way to turn, and then catch, and then the one that's hit directly at you.
We have about 2 more minutes, so I'll continue that. And then I guess when it comes close to time, I'll ask one more question after that.
Awesome.
All right. All right.
Yeah, so have a routine down, Nate. I see what you're doing. And then what you're doing is, even for me, I do this for guys online. I do it for people at my facility. You want to have a routine that you do every day. So you want to be able to do these things, whether you just moved, you don't have your pitch back, you don't have your net. There's so many things you can do, just picking up a bat and having a ball in your hand. You don't have to do all that stuff. It's kind of like people that lift weights. You can still do push-ups. You can still do sit-ups. You can do jump squats. You can do all kinds of different things. But you want to have a routine that you do every day. It's not just done once every year, once every month. It's kind of since the last time you saw me, I've gotten better. I haven't gotten worse. So as a coach, I've gotten better. I've taken 2 or 3 steps forward, not 2 or 3 steps back. And there was a long time there where I wasn't throwing I was throwing a baseball, but I always have somewhat of a routine. I have a routine every day that I do. Now, I do have 2 kids, so it does change, but we always have pretty much a routine. Because I think having a routine, because you can have a new swing and or a new technique, but if you don't have a good routine and you don't work on it, you're not going to be able to trust it in the game. It's not going to be there for you. Ground ball is going to get hit to you. Your hands aren't going to be fast enough because you didn't do the drill where you threw it up against the wall and you worked on your transfer. You're not going to have those soft hands where it looks like the ball just disappears in your glove. That's the term we use in scouting. The ball disappears in his glove. You can't even see it really hit the glove. It goes straight from the glove to the hand, boom. Shuffle, boom. Depending how fast the runner is. Some guys, one shuffle, boom. It's out of their hand. It just looks so smooth. It's like milk pouring out of a boot.
Okay. My final question is any other suggestions that you have for doing this other than what you mentioned in the show so far?
No, again, I think, it's like anything, preparation. I think you have to prepare the night before. So regardless on what you have, some people have better tools than others, and nobody's perfect on preparation. Preparation is done. There's some guys that are really good out there that do it, that they try to teach it or they preach it, but they don't do it themselves. Having a good routine every day and just knowing what you can do that day and knowing what you can't do, knowing what tools you have available to you and knowing what you don't. It's kind of like I have a hitting facility. If I was kids that it's 105 degrees outside, if I was anybody, I would utilize, a guy that's got the all-time stolen base record, who won a batting title, to hit with. That's just me in general, because I did that when I was a kid. Utilize your tools. A guy once told me that named Willie Snead. His son's in the NFL. But Willie Snead Sr. used to always say, utilize your tools. Getting your meals in, making sure you're eating good, you're drinking water. Because I know where you're at. It's a little colder than it is down there in Texas, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is. I had to, before the show started, I had to change it to a long sleeve shirt, which kind of feels weird doing that in August.
Okay, yeah. So we're up here. I'm here in Atlanta, where it's hot. It's hot in Florida as well. But really having a routine, and I go over that with my secretary as well. Like when my kids are coming over, I go with, hey, what are we going to do? And sometimes I need help with that. So I have a coach too. I might ask her, and we all have mentors. We all have life coaches. We're like, hey, what do I need to do? Okay, Chaz, do this, do that, do this, do that. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, thank you for telling me that, because I was thinking about doing that. Do you think that'd be a good idea? Absolutely, Chaz. So having somebody you can talk to, really, to like rub off. Does that make sense, Nate?
Mm-hmm.
Like you should always be in contact with somebody who's in the game, or who's in the game of life with you, who you look up to, who you can, as a mentor, say, hey, will you look at my swing? Hey, will you look at my throwing? What are some pointers to get better? And remember, it's isn't a tune-up. You're not Jiffy Lube. You don't just come in for one lesson and it's like, oh, it's done. That's why I did the preparation. You got to do what the coach tells you to do in between the lessons, and that's what makes you good. So the next week you come back, I can tell the kids that worked on stuff, the next week they came back. That's why I tell guys, look, you don't have to come in here for an hour a day. Come in here for 30 minutes twice a week, because that way I'm seeing you twice a week. You come in here for an hour, sometimes I found the sweet spot's about 45 minutes long for a lesson. Okay. That's hitting and fielding. You can only keep somebody's attention for so long, and you're going to get tired as well. And I know I'm a high motivation, high intensity guy, but really, even for me in there, I go in there and I find out, how much can I do? How much can I do? 45 minutes is the sweet spot, I feel.
So that is all I have. Anything else that you have before we close this off?
GeorgiaBaseballLessons.com. Feel free, 407-454-1770. We put a lot of work into it. We're really excited to being on the podcast back with you again, Nate. Great. I'm going to find out who she is that lives in there. That's awesome. That to be in the Olympics. What an accomplishment. It's awesome.
Yeah. New article coming out for the Nate Sports blog. Actually, it's MLB related. Stay tuned in for that. But that's all I have. This has been Nate and Chaz signing out. We'll see you next week.